What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another Adobe live stream episode. We're back here today. This is a follow-up from our last Tuesday's episode, a tandem episode with Jesse. Say hello, Jesse. You're on TV.
Hello, Jesse. I'm on TV.
Exactly. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. We are continuing our stream, actually, from Tuesday, as mentioned. We started with a Star Wars stream, and you can see kind of our pieces up right now. So, Jesse, you did a kind of like a Mandalorian on a tauntaun.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll be figuring the rest out as I go today. But yeah, I wanted to go with the May the 4th theme, and so now being Revenge of the 6th.
Revenge of the 6th.
Very good. We'll be kicking off with part 2. But yeah, I'm gonna deliver this Mandalorian in all its glory.
Full color?
No, some color.
Some color, not full.
Some color. I'm gonna blur the lines between full color and black and white.
I can dig it. Yeah, so we started because we started our stream on Tuesday, so it was May the 4th, so we decided we would do a little bit of a Star Wars thing. You ran a show at your gallery at Honeybones for May the 4th.
Correct.
And a bunch of artists submitted some work. So I was fortunate enough to be one of those ones. How did it go? How was the show, man? How did it all end up?
Man, the show was sick. Hey, like for a Tuesday night, I think we legitimately had 500 in and out the entire, like in the 3 hours. We had people lining up from 6 o'clock, from like before 6 o'clock. We had kids lining up as like dressed as stormtroopers and Wookiees and stuff, which was like amazing. So cool to see. Like it felt like
you
a
got
little
some like cosplay.
It was a Collingwood cosplay. Yeah. It was dope, man. It was really cool to see, and like for 2 reasons. Obviously, one because it was like a Tuesday night, but the other one was because like I'm like just like you, I'm really passionate about Star Wars and like heaps of nerdy things. So for me to be able to see, like, I just like to be able to live in a Star Wars event was dope, and something that I hosted as well. I felt like it was a little child.
Yeah.
So I had a rad time. I was running on, I think, about 3 hours sleep. So I think you experienced the early morning, Jesse at midday. So
sleepy Jesse.
Sleepy Jesse. But yeah, it was a great night, man. It was a great turnout. I think we had like 40 plus artworks. You had delivered 3 of them. And,
yeah, I did. Yeah.
I think from memory, you were the high roller of the night. You had sold out. I think you had sold out. I think it was like 1 shy of selling out.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I might have to purchase it or something, or like just hide it under the rug to pretend that there was a sellout. It's like
I can sneak you on, dude. I can sneak you on.
When you get like 99%, you're like, yeah, awesome. But what about that last percent? Anyway, not to kill the vibe. Anyway, but yeah, it was a really cool night, man. Like I was swinging my lightsaber around, in a drunkenly fashion, which was fun. And honestly, such a good night. But like to see so many like nerds like myself just out and about, heaps of fun.
A few comments about the cosplay actually already. Got people talking about people dressed up as Wookiees. You sure they just weren't like Melbourne unshaved people like yourself?
I think it's too early for a dig, man. Coming in hot. Yeah, maybe. Better a Wookiee than a shut up.
Shut up. It's too early again.
I was gonna say than a C-3PO, but I was trying to remember the exact the protocol droid. There we go.
Protocol droid.
Yeah,
fluent in over how many languages is it? 6 million?
6 million. Over 6 million.
Over 6 million languages.
Yeah, over 6 million languages. Fluent.
Yeah, seriously. That's some hell of practice.
Actually, you know what? That kind of is you.
Nah.
Mr. Worldwide.
Dude, I know like 2 and 17% of the language.
Is one of them Pig Latin?
Okay, maybe 3 and 17% of the language.
Is the other...
Stupid question. It's dumb language.
Is the Pig Latin is not a dumb language. There's, you're from Sydney. There's like 30% of our youths talking Pig Latin.
Do they?
Yeah, little lads, little peches.
This is news to me, man.
No, it's not. Give me an ink tray, brah.
We got another couple of questions actually coming in. We talked about this last time, but favorite Star Wars characters, and we talked specifically about Jar Jar Binks just before we started. So you said that Jar Jar is your favorite character and he's underrated. Explain yourself.
If we were in the same room, I would roundhouse you. I would come and scissor kick you in the back of the head. Jar Jar's not my favorite character. Don't even suggest that. He was one word away from poisoning the entire series, the entire trilogy.
Fair enough. You actually banned him from your show, didn't you?
I did ban him from the show. I refused to hang anybody who delivered a Jar Jar artwork. As a joke, but also semi-serious. I would have frowned upon the person that made me hang it. I would have hung the artwork in such distaste.
All like wonky.
You know what? Here's my beef with Jar Jar. All right, the first movie was fine because like we were young. It was funny. It was like, oh yeah, cool, like a funny character, whatever. And it was funny. It was funny as a kid. And then you grow up, you realize like how racist and like dumb it is. And it's just like, you're kind of killing it. And then when I become like, when I get older and read into it a little bit more, I'm further disappointed with Jar Jar because he is not a Sith Lord. He's not the undercover Sith Lord, which I wanted him to be. All right,
you wanted him to be like real, like twist guy.
Can you imagine? Yeah, like imagine the plot twist of Jar Jar Binks when he turns out to be like what Palpatine turned out to be. Like he's controlling the Empire from the background. Like how sick would that be? You just like come into the scene of like a weathered Jar Jar just on some puppeted machinery and just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the scene I want.
Would it make him better though? Would it redeem him?
I think it'd redeem him, yeah, because use the Force. Read the lightsaber.
Yeah.
That's not a racist accent. That's I'm cancelled, damn it.
It's just legit. That's how he is. Well, you said like, yeah, it is. Like you think about it, he is pretty kind of like racist sounding character for sure.
Don't even get me started on the Viceroys. Problematic, George Lucas. So we did this video, this hype video for the Star Wars event, and so I do it like a gallery sessions with most artists before, and so I did one with me, and I had Britt, my lovely wife, kind of direct the video, or like ask me questions. I was like, just ask me questions based on like they can be the dumbest Star Wars questions you can think of. Like, it doesn't matter what they are.
Yep.
And she's like, all right, cool, no worries. Little did I know they're actually going to be really just dumb. And so she comes in, she goes, are sand people really made of sand? And then
maybe they are, dude. You don't know that.
They're not. They're real people.
But maybe they're made of sand.
They're not made of sand. They bleed. We've experienced this.
They bleed sand, maybe.
They don't bleed sand. They're not Jafar from from Aladdin or whatever. Whoever bleeds sand in the Aladdin movies, or the Sands of Time in Prince of Persia or something.
Everybody in Prince of Persia.
Nobody makes me bleed my own sand.
Right, so with all this kind of stuff, like we're obviously like doing like 2 hours to kind of do these pieces. I get this question a fair bit from people, is like, how long does it kind of take you to take an artwork from start to finish? I always find that question kind of hard to answer, though, because it really just depends on the like, it just depends on the piece and what I'm doing with it and how like much detail I want to go with it.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah, it's definitely like a how long is a piece of string kind of question, but
yeah, I think in most cases as well, like I do like to like average my artwork time. So like the most I want to be spending on an artwork, especially before mural work, is around 3 hours. I think any longer than 3 hours, I feel like I'm over delivering, or I'm putting too much into it, or something.
Like when you're doing the digital side of the mural artwork.
Yeah. Oh man, if I can do a mural in 3 hours, hashtag winning. Yeah.
But then how long would like the mural takes you? Obviously much longer than that.
Yesterday I did a full wall in a day.
Oh wow.
So that was kind of cool. Yeah. It was like 5 portraits of the people on the Australian dollar bills. I did 5 portraits of those people, and then just some like textural background stuff. And yeah, I got it done. I started at 11 and I finished at what time did I finish? 6:30.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Full finished mural.
Yeah, full finished. So yeah, that's kind of fun.
Fast.
A nice little payday for it too.
Good.
I had my mate rock up and we had some dinner after, and he was like, "When did you start this?" I was like, "Oh, just before lunchtime." And he's like, "What? You finished?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm hungry. I need to go home." It was like it was good quality as well. So, but in regards to like digital artworks, I don't want to be spending more than 3 hours on something. If I do, then I know that I'm putting in a lot of effort to it. I'm not saying that I'm quick with my drawings. I'm just saying like that's kind of where I like to sit with per project. As a ground. So like some days I even spend full days, like the Star Wars pieces that I produced for my show. I think I probably would have spent like a full day on one of them. So
yeah.
And then I think maybe like another day and a half on the rest of them. So yeah, it really is that how long's a piece of string, like how much finessing do you want to do, like how much hidden detail do you want to do?
How much
like how long do you spend on yours?
Well, see, so that was going to be my next question. It was like,
because question to yourself.
Well,
sprung.
Yeah, I guess question to myself. Nah,
sprung.
Is like, because I'll often start a piece with like a vague idea in my brain, and then as I'm doing it, I'm like, hey, what would be cool? Would be this, and that.
What's this?
Like I don't know, whatever. like for instance, like I've done these 2 pieces, like the one that we started on. When was it? On Tuesday. Was Tuesday. This one on the left here. So I started with this, and then I was just like, actually, over Wednesday, I kind of went back in and did some edits and changed it up a little bit. So this would be, like now that's for like 2 hours of me doing it. So I tend to do that quite a bit, where I will work on a piece a lot as it's going. And it's fun, but it's also a little bit of a curse, because it does mean that like I have a hard time making up my mind, and often in my sketches there'll be like a layer where like the like head ornament here will be a little bit different, or be a different thing, or I'll add some war paint on the face or whatever, and I'll do all these sketches, and it's cool to do that, and it's like it's part of the process. But at the same time, I do find sometimes that it becomes a bit of a hindrance where I'm just kind of going in circles a little bit. Like I'm actually not really doing heaps of artwork. I'm just kind of, like exploring stuff, which is good. But I guess what I'm saying is like to a certain point.
That's kind of great though, because you know that you're your own worst critic. So you're just like, I need to make this as perfect as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, but like it's something that I've been thinking about a fair bit lately is that idea is like, you know, how like after a certain point, you're not really advancing or learning anything or discovering anything on a piece.
Yeah.
You're literally just kind of,
oh yeah, I mean, sorry.
You know, like going in circles on that piece. And yeah, you're not upskilling, you're not learning anything, but you're also just not really producing anything. You're just kind of doing stuff. So it's a dangerous kind of attitude to have as well, of like things don't need to be perfect, because it's a short jump from things don't need to be perfect to just stopping to care in general.
Amen, sister.
But in saying that, there is like, it's something that I've been trying to do quite a bit lately, where it's like maybe don't be so much of it sounds a bit kind of like pretentious, but don't be such a perfectionist with stuff. Like things are fine as it is. This piece is finished, move on to the next one. If there's stuff you wanted to try on this one, just do it on the next piece.
I still find that so funny. Like, I remember the day you helped me out at that cafe club, and I still like, I tell everybody who helps me out, and I just remember you asking me like, when did you stop caring? And I was like, I have no idea how to take that.
That's what I meant.
But I still remember the moment, because like I was pulling like really clean line brush strokes, and it was like, but it was just quick and fast. And then I remember you just like doing exactly what I was doing, but like going like twice as long. And I was like,
yeah.
And you were like, since when did you stop caring? I was like, well, what a cut to the core of me, Baxter. It was
meant in a good way. It was meant in a way that was
I know.
When
I was trying
to stop
later.
like that was also my goal. Well, you know, like I gotta boost my ego by tearing you down.
It's true. I have an easy target.
To do it. Somebody's asking in the chat, Jesse, do you have any ideas for your next show? You've always got like a million ideas for your shows.
My next show? Like my next group show or my next solo show? Whatever,
just next show at Honeybones.
So there's a group show that's coming up. It's on the 21st of May. It's like a fundraiser for Burma.
Mm-hmm.
So Sian Primrose, who is an amazing artist and curator, she's curated a group show of maybe 30 plus artists in like to raise awareness and money for Burma. And then after that, there's a couple of solo shows and stuff from other artists.
Mm-hmm.
The next group show, I might as well just put it out there now. I think it's going to be hilarious. I want to do a Hello Kitty theme show.
Oh yeah.
I thought that would be really cool.
That would be super fun, actually.
Yeah. Well, cool. There's your invite. You're in it.
Cool. That's exactly what I wanted.
I wanted to call it Goodbye PU $. Anyway, but I think that's very problematic, so I'm going to work on the title. But I think I want to do a Hello Kitty theme show and just go like Japanese, like it's a Japanese theme show essentially.
Yeah. It's got to be, right?
I think it has to be.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. In regards to like solo shows, I've got a artist residency in Tasmania in June, which would be sick. So QBank Gallery are flying me, not flying, they're putting me up for a month, and I'm going to be creating a whole body of work based on my experience in Tasmania, in Queenstown. And
easy.
Put that way up. And yeah, so that's gonna be kind of fun, and I'm gonna bring that show back to Melbourne. I have to showcase it there, so I'll be living in the studio and doing like open studios and stuff. So that's between June and July, so like a whole month.
Sick.
Yeah,
that's awesome, dude. Congrats.
It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna get to take Ace down. Hopefully at that time I'll take Fury down, the new pup that we're bringing on. The one-eyed puppy, Fury.
The one-eyed wonder.
Yeah, one-eyed.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well,
Fury, the one-eyed wonder.
Yeah. Okay, so like
always with the references, dude. Always.
Well, I'm a visual learner, and like I live with what many artists live with ADD, and I can't sit still, and I have a different way of communicating. My brain works way too quicker than probably what it should be, and sometimes that's a downfall, but sometimes that's equally a gift. So I tend to communicate in just a different frequency, and so me attempting to communicate through pop culture, me attempting to communicate through just visual or like more descriptive ways of more descriptive ways of talking through referencing as well is just kind of my way of communicating. Same as like when you get annoyed at me for sending you too many gifs at midnight when you're trying to sleep.
I say I'm annoyed, I'm just jealous, really.
Look, yeah. Like if you send me another gif of Captain Hook again, I'm gonna bottle you.
Somebody's asking in the chat, any advice for getting an artist residency, actually?
Yeah, so just find there's not a lot of galleries that do it. This is my first experience with the gallery doing it. The gallery I kind of reached out. I was just like, hey, if there's any availabilities for residencies, I'd love to work with you guys and whatever. And it just kind of like happened that way. Yeah, I don't really know how to do it, to be honest. Like how I do it is I just reach out. Yeah. There's no harm in reaching out. Like the worst they say is no. Or, I hate you and no.
That's not gonna happen.
That won't happen. But yeah, the worst I can say is no, or just ignore you in general. And no harm in trying, really. So yeah, that's kind of how I did it, to be honest. I don't know how to do it. That's how I did it.
Well, I think it's interesting because we were kind of talking about that yesterday, weren't we? Sorry.
The other day, yeah.
On Tuesday, and talking about like this idea of like networking and how do you approach people, and I think what's like really kind of valuable to remember with this stuff is like asking someone else how they do it can be super helpful, but it's also not necessarily like that's how everybody does it. I think that's like really important to remember, that it's just like that's just how I do it. I didn't necessarily like look up on the internet how to do it. I just decided like, hey, this sounds like it makes sense, so I'm going to do it this way. And I think that's also a thing with your art, right? It's like, oh, how do you do your color, or how do you do your line work or whatever? It's just like, well, this is literally just how I do it. That's not necessarily how it is done.
Yeah, exactly. But equally, there's no harm in just reaching out either. There's the biggest thing that a lot of artists in general, and a lot of people in general just don't do, is just don't reach out for help. And help is so crucial, man. Like if you can't figure it out, just ask for help. And or if there's something you're struggling with in general, just talk to someone, like get some ideas going. Like there are so many artists in general that have just been successful just because they've reached out and asked for help, or just because like they figured out that help is the answer, or like there's more than there's more arms can reach. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a history brush. It's picking the wrong brush.
Oops.
Basically what I'm getting at is that, you know, you have a wider reach when there's more people trying to do the same thing. And like I think at the moment I'm mentoring like, honestly, like 3 to 4 artists, and it's not a full-time thing. It's literally just like, hey, I'm here if you need me. And for them, it's the biggest thing in the world. I wish I had that. I tried establishing some mentee relationships with artists that I looked up to, and I was just kind of I didn't really get anywhere. So for me to be able to give that to people who genuinely need it is sick. And it's literally no time out my day. I just sit. I'll either sit with someone and just go like, yeah, this is cool, or here's a way you can do it, or it's just as simple as a text message.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Compare the market. Simple.
Somebody's asking in the chat how I'm doing my highlights. This again, like, so we were just talking about this before. This is like how I do them. This is not necessarily the way you should do them, but what I do is I take all of my colors that are all on like a layer here, and I smash them together. So I just literally just kind of duplicate them. So like that. Command J duplicates it all, and then Command E smashes them all together into one layer. And then I put that layer on multiply, and then Command U. So I'm all about the shortcuts. Just drags.
Command me.
Command U. That's right. Exactly. I'm commanding you, man. I will change the colors, and then I'll stick a layer mask on that, and then you see me kind of basically taking that image out on the layer mask. So I'm now just painting on the layer mask and taking that out, which means that if I make a mistake, I can just come back in. I don't have to repaint anything. It's just a nice, clean, easy way to get highlights on all your colors at once, without necessarily having to repaint all of the colors.
You do that really well. I've noticed that's something you really do.
Oh, thanks, man.
With such prestige.
It's like,
it's an acquired skill.
Well, like everything, isn't it? Like, it's like,
yeah,
you do the thing that you do, and then you know how to do that thing super well, and you like learn how to like control it and all that kind of stuff. So,
like the Force.
Like the Force, exactly like the Force.
Exactly. I should have done a portrait of Matt, the radar technician.
So anybody who watches SNL would know about Matt, the radar technician.
Get back to work, Matt.
Get back to work, Matt. Did you ever watch? I always forget his name. British comedian who did. No. Man, I always forget his name. Transgender British comedian, super funny. He was in Ocean's like 12 or 13. I can't remember. Well, come on, man, take this seriously.
I don't know. I don't know the name. I think I can picture them.
Anyways, he did a like a whole skit, not on SNL, but about. I think it was like Fred Vader or something. Somebody in the chat can correct me on that. Eddie Izzard, that's the one. Somebody in the chat has just told me. Eddie Izzard, and he did this like hilarious thing about like Vader coming into the Death Star canteen and like ordering the penne alla arrabbiata, and just all the guys are like, "Are you Fred Vader? I could kill you with this tray." It's absolutely hilarious, man. If you haven't seen it before, definitely watch that. It's very much on par with that SNL Matt, the radar technician thing.
I've got something to tell you. My name is Kylo Ren. We know. Wait, how long have you known? Yeah, well, since you said I'm Matt. Pretty much when you were choking me with the Force.
All right, got some downlighting happening now.
Some what?
Some downlighting on mine. Going for like real, like dramatic.
This is like Pimp My Ride, and like I'm like the car that rolls in, and you're like the car when it rolls out.
right.
My rusty chum bucket from SpongeBob is looking good.
Yeah, but remember that I'm using my symmetry tool, so I'm cheating.
Oh, you're not cheating. We spoke about this before. You were not cheating. You were gifted. Where is the symmetry tool? Is that a tool? I want you to teach me.
So yeah, so you're in the brush tool. It only works. It only comes up when you're in certain tools. So eraser and brush. Any other tool, like if you go into selection tool, it'll disappear. But if you go into your brush tool, you'll see up here, just like at the top bar, there's a little like butterfly that looks like he's kind of cut in half.
Oh.
And so you click on that and you get like vertical or horizontal. So if you do like vertical or horizontal by default, it sticks it in the middle. And then you can, the cool thing is you can turn it off when you need to do something. So like my image here isn't like perfectly symmetrical, like the knot on the neck is not exactly the same on both sides. So when I'm doing something to one side, I can just turn it off. And then if I need it back on, I just go last symmetry used and it pops it right back on. So yeah, it's a real like
smart,
super handy tool to use.
You're so smart.
So somebody's asking you specifically, Jesse, what's your setup? You're using an iPad to draw on your PC, yeah? So you're using your iPad like as if it was just a tablet.
Yeah, correct. I think it's like a window, like a display mirroring system.
Yep.
So I'm using the app Easy Canvas. It was free on the Apple Store.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it's free is because I am what we call in business tight and or frugal. Frugal's another word.
Frugal.
So, frugal. Frugal.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm on Photoshop on the computer. And then just having my iPad as a display, it's super seamless. It doesn't really seem like I'm just looking down at my iPad as opposed to looking at the screen.
Yeah.
Which is cool because it saves me forking out money for a Wacom.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty seamless. It's pretty like easy flowing. The pixels are all the same. Like I'm looking at all the same toolbars. Like I can select all the same tools as I was that I would normally on the desktop. I can move my mouse around, and then my mouse is actually on my laptop. So I'm on my iPad. So
yep,
nice little display. Yeah, thank you.
So it's an iPad Pro, yeah. It's like obviously you need the pencil with it and everything.
You need a pencil with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. But I think that most iPads come with pencils these days, don't they?
I think so, yeah. I think the iPad Pros do, but not necessarily. You can just get one without ones, the pencils, yeah.
Yeah, well, this pencil was like, it wasn't that frugal, to be honest. I didn't feel frugal when I purchased this pencil. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like, it's just like, it's an investment, isn't it? Of just like sometimes you just have to do it. It's like, you would not be able to do digital art at all with at least some kind of stylus or pencil to like paint digitally.
I disagree.
Oh yeah. Have you done mouse art before?
Man, I used to. I think the first session I like blew Finn out the water. Finn. Oh my god, I blew Flynn out the water. There's a thing. Anyway, I blew Flynn out the water. Delete. We'll go back. We'll roll back. We'll roll back. We'll cut that in post. I blew Flynn out the water by telling him that I only used to do trackpad art. So I used to use my old MacBook. And
dude, that's blowing me out the water.
I couldn't afford a Wacom, and I couldn't afford any of the cool setups. I couldn't afford an iPad or whatever, a Surface tablet, and I just used my trackpad, man. It was the easiest thing I could do, and it took a while to get used to, but it got me by. I ran an entire clothing label with it. I did entire illustrations. Like, I was kind of bound to blackwork, to be honest. But
yeah,
I couldn't really do portraits or anything like super detail, but it worked easy for blackwork.
Dude, trackpad is even like harder than a mouse.
Yeah, it's not easy, man.
If you had said mouse, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, that's impressive. If you say trackpad, it's like, whoa. Trackpad.
Yeah, no, it was legit. I did 3 years of trackpad work. Yeah.
Man, that's just that's just crazy.
Yeah, it was predominantly on Illustrator, to be honest. Like, I'm not sure if that helps the scenario or not, but yeah, it was mostly on Illustrator, and I was just like kind of working with the combination of the blob tool, the pen tool, and I avoided image trace like the plague, but yeah, it was kind of just a lot of that. Like I said, I was kind of bound to just one style, but I'm sure that the way you could do it would be easy. Like flat design and vector design is alright for their, you know, like that type of vector looking design that people do sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're using like pen tool and stuff, if you're not like technically sort of doing that traditional painting, I guess, yeah, you could totally do that with a trackpad. That's a bit less impressive, man. I have to admit, you've gone down in my esteem a little bit.
I did I painted the Mona Lisa.
Oh, okay.
In Illustrator.
And you're back.
In the back.
Somebody wants to know if you had RSI doing your trackpad for years.
No, I'm clean.
Nah, come on, dude.
What's RSI?
Repeat strain injury or like
really?
repetitive strain injury, something?
No, I didn't, to be honest. That's why it was a real question when I asked. No, I didn't get that. I kind of like I was doing just like two fingers like this. My middle finger was like I'm kind of like working like a DJ, just like I kind of look like Bruce Lee in that fake DJ shirt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, look at that. My references are back. They never left.
They never did.
They never left.
Nor should they.
No. All right, let me tell you something about references, mate. Yeah. So no, I didn't, to be honest. And if I did, I probably didn't notice it. Which doesn't really say a lot for my attention span. I had a lot of back injury, sure. A lot of back problems, a lot of shoulder blade issues from sitting down all day. No, I didn't really, to be honest. I found myself like in lockdown, the big one. I found myself getting some like some kind of wrist pains, but I feel like that could go another way as well. You know, like yeah, title of my sex tape, great. But no, I just because I like you kind of bound to the desk all day, so
yeah,
like I guess because I mix it up as well. So like obviously with mural painting, my pain's just all over now.
Yeah, it's good to get off the computer a little bit as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do something different.
It's nice. It's also just nice having like multi disciplines as well. Like you would know. How do you feel when you're painting? Do you like it? What do you prefer?
Yeah, totally. It's always something that's super fun. But at the same time, yeah, it's definitely like because you're just sitting down. Like there's a limited amount of time that I can do it before it starts to become potentially maybe a little bit unhealthy.
Yeah. Meagering.
Yeah. So. Yeah, there's. I mean, it comes back to that work-life balance thing, doesn't it? Of just like
hard.
Trying to figure out how much you should work and when you should work. Because I think for me that's the thing as well with like freelancing is, there's always something you could be doing.
So true.
When you're working 9 to 5, it's like cool. It's like 6 o'clock or whatever. Like my work is finished. I'm literally done for the day. But yeah, when you're freelancing, it's definitely like, well, you know, I could be doing like a personal piece. So I could be working on something for my website or updating my store or like visiting another printer or something. There's always like something that you could be doing more than that. So trying to like figure out that balance, I think, is always a bit of a challenge.
It's like less freelance and more just entrepreneurship, right? Like
yeah, totally.
You're a businessman.
Well, we've got to be, right? Like, in order to do this, you got to have a little bit of time to like figure out the business side of things for sure. But yeah, trying to balance out that sometimes can prove a little bit challenging, I find.
Yeah, no, it definitely does, man. I think work-life balance is always the hardest thing for me to do. Like, I got told the other day that I need to put more into I need to set myself like more holidays or something. And I realized I wasn't listening. And then I got in trouble. Yeah, no, it's always hard, man. Just trying to like have like a good healthy balance of like how much should I do versus like how much do I need to do, or like can I take a break now, or because when driven people are just kind of given the task of like finding money or like finding work, you're not really going to rest until you're stable. And that's the kind of the scary thing sometimes for a lot of entrepreneurial creatives, or like a lot of creatives in general. They're just like, I'm never going to be settled, I'm never going to be comfortable until like realistically or on rock star level, you're just like until the money just like doesn't stop flowing in, or until the workload just kind of stops. I won't stop.
Yeah. But is that even like realistic, do you reckon?
Nah, not at all, man.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you right now, like when I'm busy, I'm busy. When I'm not busy, I find work to make myself busy. So like it just never stops, man. But that's the best thing about being an artist and creative, man. Like if it's your passion, then you're stoked. I'm stoked to have my passion as my job and get paid for my job. Like that's sick. Like that's the dream. And then in that perspective, you have to just remember to like stop and smell the flowers. Like, yeah, you're successful. You're doing like fun art. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, that's true. I think it is like, if you don't enjoy it, then you're gonna have a really hard time. But I guess that's the case with most things. But
well, I think it's just more than if you enjoy it though. If you're creating because you can see a loop in the market, a gap in the market, then I don't know if you really love it. But if you really love it, you're just like, nah, this is what I do. I would be doing this even if I wasn't getting paid for it.
Yep. Because sometimes you don't get paid for it.
Oh, dude. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm chasing some guy for an invoice right now, like from January. So tell me about it.
I don't think I will. I'm the same, but yeah. I think that's a conversation for many other times.
I'm transparent with this stuff.
Oh yeah, no, same here. Like I'm always happy to talk about like payment and like how much you charge for stuff, but I think starting to get into the ins and outs of how you get paid and clients and all that kind of stuff just can be a little bit of a tricky one for sure.
What shirt are you wearing, by the way? I just noticed.
I'm wearing a shirt from this brand called X Large, which is old. Like,
I love that brand.
Yeah, it's just my like skater days. Back in those days, we used to do that. And it's like a lot of people think it's actually a skater brand, and it's actually not. Just like skaters.
It's like one of the first street brands.
Yeah, it's one of the first street brands, and just a lot of skaters, as is often the case, kind of adopted it on. But they did a collaboration with a favorite artist of mine, a guy called Hajime Sorayama, Japanese guy who does all these kind of like metallic.
You said that very Japanesey, by the way.
Yes, well, got to pay the piper, got to respect.
いいですね。
いいですね。そうですか。
いいですね。はいはい。
Yeah, so they're just like, they did this collaboration together, which is another thing. Let's talk about like, like hitting up people and getting those clients. Like, I've been sort of trying to hit them up for some time now without like much success at this point, but it's definitely one of those things that like it makes sense to work with those guys. So just like literally just trying to hit them up so that we can do some work together.
Find their LinkedIn art director.
Yeah, so it's a Japanese brand, so they don't necessarily work exactly in the same way. It can be quite peculiar when it comes to that kind of stuff. Yeah, or like Instagram, WhatsApp, all those kind of things for sure.
What in my show?
But yeah, it's definitely one of those things I think is like these guys would be a really awesome client for me to work with, and it would make sense with the work that I produce. Like they do a lot of like manga stuff, very kind of like Japanese pop culture. So it's all about just like finding the brands that could potentially work for you and that you could work for, obviously, but that have like a kind of a lineup style.
It's creating what you like doing and like what you wear as well.
Yeah, totally. It's do the work you want to be asked to do, 100%.
And that is literally like when I get shirt briefs in, my first question is like, what's in your current wardrobe? Like, what do you wear? Like, and they're like, oh, what does it matter? I was like, well, it matters because I'm not going to design for your customers. I'm designing for you. Like, and then your customers will want to wear what you're wearing anyway, so it's fine. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
It does make sense. Like if someone was designing for me, they're going to predominantly like, just design something that's like vintage hip hop band merch, or like like an old Def Jam t-shirt featuring like a large portrait of Suge Knight. It's like hanging Vanilla Ice off the balcony, demanding his money. I'm trying.
Yep.
Or like a Cardi B shirt.
Yeah,
or Megan,
totally.
Megan
But
Thee
it's
Stallion.
like, I think there's definitely like 100% that thing is, I think, is super important. It's one of the things that I learned relatively late, but now apply all the time, is the idea of do the work you want to be asked to do. Like,
yes, sir.
Find the things that you would want to be asked to do, and those clients that you want to work with, and then hit them up. And like you said, like worst case scenario is they don't answer.
Yeah.
And then nothing has changed. You're in exactly the same spot as you were before. And
I remember someone who was trying to give me business advice was like, you need to stop working for beer brands. And I was like, why? I drink beer. They're like, yeah, but like you're gonna bottle like pigeonhole yourself. And I was like, no, I'm not. I enjoy beer, so I'm gonna design for beer brands. Why wouldn't I? And like he's like, oh, you need to you should limit yourself to how much pop culture you do. I was like, dude, I speak in pop culture. Why would I not draw pop culture?
Yeah.
I'm designing me. Like my artworks are me. Go away, straw. You laughing at the straw comment?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Hey. How's your drawing looking? I can't see it.
I've gone back to.
You gone back?
I've gone back to like
1955.
Seriously, yeah, 1955 Jeremy style, where it's just like super neon-y kind of things happening. Well, he's back today, dude. There you go.
With a hoverboard and an 1845 girlfriend and a dog somehow.
It's still very Japanese, but yeah, I've just gone the full neon with the triangle and everything else. Yeah.
I like it. I'll look at it after the stream and the replay.
I think we got about 5 minutes to go before we got to wrap it up.
All right, I better draw quickly then.
How's yours going?
Yeah, great. It's always fun trying to like balance talking and drawing at the same time.
Yeah.
So in one way it's going great. The other way, I realize I've got 5 minutes left. So
but you can finish this at another ulterior time.
Maybe I can. Yeah, maybe I can. It's always fun just talking and showing the process and just seeing behind the scenes and just like seeing how things are done and just picking the brain and stuff. That's why I like these things as well. Like I'll tune in when it's not my turn to draw, and I'll just I'll just come and message you just like, Jeremy, I love your shirt, but who are you wearing today?
Who am I wearing today?
Balenciaga, baby. Cardi. I've been listening to lots of Cardi B and Doja Cat recently. I don't know why. I'm feeling pretty bougie recently.
I'll say.
Get out of it. If you want to go, I'll take you outside. I reckon I can draw the rest from here. Close, please. Close, please. There we go. I've written your name in my drawing too. So.
Have you?
Oh yeah. I'm always thinking of you.
It's very flattering.
Even when you're around me. My eyebrows itchy. Did your eyebrows get itchy?
I get twitchy sometimes, yeah.
Mm.
So sometimes, like when I'm doing this is where, like, this is what we were talking about before, right? Where it's like, technically my piece is like finished.
Oh, God.
But now, because it's digital, I'll be like, hey, what if I did this? Or what if I tried this?
Yeah.
And I'll start messing around with all these different kind of colorways or ideas that can happen with it. And it's like, it's fun, but it can also be really like super counterproductive because it's just like, and I've just realized I forgot to turn off my selection. Yeah, it's just like, it can also just be like going around in circles and doing nothing, where like that's just not very productive. But at the same time, it's super fun to do and try and go like, see what the colors could be, or like things like sometimes colors that I wouldn't have thought of necessarily, of being like, hey, that's an interesting color combination.
Yeah, that's actually how I did that Star Wars piece. My piece was like all in greens and blues, and then I accidentally hit the channel button.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this warm tone looks sick. And it turns out everyone really liked the warm ones.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I just switched mine to a bit more of a red neon glow to fit the stormtrooper-y vibe a little bit more.
I'm keen to see yours. I'm always a fan of your work.
You shall.
It isn't there.
You shall.
What are you doing today? Do you want to come down to Albury, Wodonga to meet me?
Oh, dude, today I am going to watch Mortal Kombat. How's that?
Oh, man. It is so good.
Yep. Really keen. love a bit of Josh Lawson as well. Kano.
He makes that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
100%.
Oh, wait, you have seen it, or
no? But I've like watched the trailer and it's just like,
like honestly, he makes that movie. Yeah.
So we're wrapping up in like very shortly. Before we do, we've got about 2 minutes to pencils down.
Oh God.
Where can people find more of your work, dude? Like where if I'm a fan, and a fan I am,
oh God,
where do I find more of your work?
You can find me on Instagram or Facebook at JESWRI, so JESWRI. You can catch me outside at any time. Pop culture reference. You mean out on the streets doing some murals? Yes, there we go. Brought it full circle. No, full circle. Catch me painting murals. That's what I do with my full time. Alternatively, you can just visit my website at JESWRI.com. You can just Google me. Google me is the best way to do it. Yep. And yeah. Oh, I think I might have like just almost finished on time. Ooh. Kind of. I'm gonna finesse it off screen, but I painted a gorilla tauntaun with like really little child feet. On purpose? He's got baby feet. It's horrible. So you can find me at JESWRI pretty much anywhere. You can Google some stuff. I've got some cool stuff coming up, either at my stuff or at my socials, or I've got Honeybones Gallery, which is also Googleable. Lots of amazing artists that come through. Lots of amazing shows. We do a lot of emerging and established artists, but basically it's a great way to see, realistically, like Melbourne's up and coming artists, and sometimes even Sydney's up and coming artists. So if you're tired of looking at established, amazing, handsome artists like myself and Jeremy, you can always check out what Honeybones are doing.
Awesome, dude. Thanks. That's actually all we've got time for. You've taken us right to the line. So thanks everybody for all the questions. Thanks for joining in. And yeah, we'll catch you around. Thanks for joining us also, Jesse. As always, super awesome to hang out with you. And I'll probably see you IRL pretty soon. Thanks everyone. Take care, and we'll catch you around.